All righty. We're back for this week. On time, too, on Monday.
Yeah, how do you like that? Went with the old Amazon Prime, got it online and watched it just a couple hours ago.
Yeah, because JP didn't get to actually see it
No, I didn't see it last night.
To watch it today.
Today was a little hectic, family funeral and all that jive, but...
You say that like it's so casual.
No,
family funeral.
God rest great Aunt Ruby. It was actually a fair... I know listeners probably don't want to get into this, but fair amount of drama over the whole thing.
You usually get that with family deaths. We are sorry for your loss, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you showed me that.
Did I show you that?
Yeah, you showed me that. Yeah,
wild stuff going on.
Wild drama
from the old JP clan, but it's all good,
The JP clan.
The JP clan.
So we're talking about Season 4, Episode 11 of Fear the Walking Dead, The Code.
The Code.
And, which, by the way, we're terribly sorry for your loss. I felt like kind of a douche. We were talking about all that and I didn't say that. But
yeah, I didn't realize I'd shown you that screenshot. I was hoping to get like a oh shit reaction, kind of. But there's no shock value at this point.
Yeah.
Well.
When people pass, the drama really comes out sometimes.
Yeah, people just start gnawing at each other like, ravenous zombies. Right back around.
What a good way to bring it back around. Okay. So, The Code, last night's episode. Again, I'm just going to start off by saying I like this episode. I feel like I could see where someone would say it was slower, but I enjoyed the episode.
Oh, man, I liked it quite a bit. It combined elements of a lot of my favorite movies. Obviously, Smokey and the Bandit connection.
Right.
At one point, I felt like kind of like a Tremors sort of vibe, which we'll get into. And
I'm interested to see where you got the Tremors vibe from.
Yeah, and of course, there's the Pay It Forward.
Yeah.
And I'm just kidding. Pay It Forward, hardly one of my favorite movies, but I mean, it was nice seeing Kevin Spacey and Helen Hunt, do the nasty thing, but other than that, kind of cornball.
Well, I mean, let's just start off by saying we got to finally see somebody take a poop in the apocalypse.
I know. I've been waiting for so long.
I mean, like the guy that back in Walking Dead, which obviously spoilers for this episode of Fear the Walking Dead, and we're going to be talking about other stuff in The Walking Dead and some connections, but remember the episode back in like season, I think 4 it was, where Rick goes into that house, like Rick, Michonne, and Carl, and Michonne and Carl go off. Michonne and Carl go off and they start bonding, and Rick wakes up to the claimers in the house. And remember, that guy that Rick strangled was sitting on the toilet, but his pants were up. So I don't know if he was just like chilling there.
But
we got to see Morgan pants down pooping.
Yeah, I know. It was nice of his assailant, to give him a chance to finish up and wipe and everything before, he put the gun on him.
Can I get a minute?
Yeah.
Come out now. I really don't think you want me to come out right now.
Ew.
But, so at first when he met them, I was like, oh, Morgan finally meets some like-minded people.
So it seemed, anyway.
I don't know why I was so trusting of him, too, because I'm not that trusting of a person in real life. But on that episode, I was like, oh, I just thought, oh, they're nice people. That's cool. And that wasn't quite the case.
Yeah, well, at first I went in with the apprehension that this is kind of like going to be like a Terminus sort of situation, just little breadcrumbs to lure people into the seemingly safe setting.
Right.
And then we cannibalize you. But that wasn't the case, which is good,
Yeah. Thank goodness for
Not
Morgan.
Everyone's a cannibal.
No. I felt like the back half of this episode was a beer commercial.
Yeah, so it seemed, right?
He's talking about, which is funny, though, because we have a website for the radio stations that gives us stories. It's called a prep site, and it just has, that's how your favorite morning shows get a lot of their content is from a prep. I can't talk. It's from a prep site. And one of the stories on there today was talking about how alcohol is essential for human evolution and like just our society. I'm not going to say evolution like as far as on a like molecular level, but evolution in the sense of how our society has evolved.
Yeah, I wasn't so familiar with that. I've heard of the stoned ape theory, where certain people think that like psychedelic elements, like in nature from plants and stuff, like helped the human brain develop. But I didn't know about this, alcohol helping society develop and people settle. And
the whole point of the article was talking about how alcohol is bad for you. I apologize for my inability to talk. We get here super early in the morning, and I just
it's been a long day.
But anyways, it's but it was talking about that, and then this guy was talking about that last night. So it was just pretty interesting how I watched Fear the Walking Dead, and I came into work this morning, and there was an article talking about the importance of alcohol in humans, the history of humans.
It's weird how things, these little coinky dinks.
I take like little notes when I watch the show just to like remind myself of points, and so at one point I wrote, Morgan got to meet some like-minded people. And then like 3 or 4 lines down, it says, okay, so not so like-minded.
Yeah.
And also, which this is skipping like halfway through the episode, but might I advise, if you own an automatic pistol, meaning one that's magazine fed, I know it sounds intimidating and it feels cool, but I would advise not, because she did it, like took her thumb and pulled the hammer back. Number one, you don't have to do that because it's an automatic pistol, it'll pull the trigger
regardless, right?
But I actually had a pistol that I had been doing that on a lot, and it actually broke like the, what do they call it? The hammer bar or something. But anyways, the guy called me when they fixed it and was like, look, a lot of people do that because they think it looks and feels cool, but it actually, your gun is designed, when it pulls it back, it keeps it straight. When you do that, you can move it different. So just if you own an automatic pistol, don't follow suit with the people on the movies. If just let the slide pull the hammer back for you. And if you got it cocked, odds are, unless you've decocked it. Anyways, I'm ranting, but I saw that and I put a note about it because every time I see it now, since mine broke, when I see it in a movie or show, I'm like, don't do that. Yeah. And it's a zombie apocalypse, so you can't ship it back to the manufacturer and have them fix it.
Good point.
But so we see Morgan heading back to Virginia, which leads to now that I'm finally ready to get into the podcast. I know that was like 6 minutes of rambling, but do you think that they're on a collision course back to The Walking Dead? Or do you think they're teasing us?
I don't think it's going to happen this season. I really don't. I mean, it could, but I mean, at that point, they might as well just merge the two shows into like I don't know.
They're definitely, if nothing else, teasing us, getting our hopes up that the two shows are going to become one, I guess, or at least cross over for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's inevitable in the long run, but I don't see it happening for a while.
Or do you think that if they're not going to cross paths, that Morgan and these people will cross back into The Walking Dead and leave Alicia, Strand, and Luciana in Fear the Walking Dead, and Charlie? Can't forget Charlie.
It's good points,
and John and June.
John Dory, John and June.
I want to see John more than Morgan, of course, because Morgan is it's so crazy how we went so many years wondering would we ever see Morgan again, and then he came back to be like one of the best characters in the show's history, of course, in my opinion. But aside from Morgan getting back to The Walking Dead, who I would like to see in the Walking Dead universe more than anybody is John Dory. I just would love to see how he'd interact with the other characters and how badass he is, and you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I think it's bound to happen. And I mean, maybe the next season of Fear the Walking Dead might be like one big road trip like journey, up to D.C.
Will Tom Green be there, you think?
Hard to say.
Like in Road Trip?
Oh, yeah, Tom Green be the narrator? I certainly hope so. So you think Morgan will make a sex tape with someone and accidentally...
The question is, who's going to have the nurse play with their prostate?
Oh, gosh. Ugh.
So let's talk about this woman at the end, man. Bad or good? What vibe did you get from that?
Man, she was creepy at first. I don't know who it reminded me of at first, but was there a character from like a past season that no?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It just that the spooky woman at the end. Did that throw back to a previous season or episode or anything?
Not that I remember, but you could be right.
It gave me a little sense of deja vu, but it is probably just me. Me.
You don't think it made you feel like Terminus or something?
Oh, her?
Like, is that maybe what you were thinking?
I don't know. Last I definitely got that Terminus vibe early on in the episode, but
we get introduced to 3 new characters, which we've already kind of talked about them, but of course, Wendell, Sarah, and Jim. Wendell, the guy in the wheelchair, Sarah being the lady, and Jim being the guy that is all about beer. Yeah.
And Sarah's a beer lover, too. She's, she's got it. It's kind of like her Heisenberg, she's kind of like Gus Fring, and she's like, I've got my Heisenberg. You're going to make that blue gold for me, baby. In this case, the liquid gold.
So do you... all right, so at the end, we saw that Morgan convinced them to do what they were supposed to be doing, which is leaving those boxes on the side of the road for people. So, and they did oblige. They did leave him, which was awful and terrible and screwed up. But do you think they're entirely evil, or do you think we're going to see these people become like kind of like hero, like go from being like antagonist to protagonist?
Yeah, I don't think they're like straight up villains, because they didn't like the truck driver that they, I guess, hijacked and stole his truck as he was leaving these boxes. I don't think they murdered him.
Right,
they just kind of stole his rig.
Truck.
Right. So I don't think they're straight up villains, but they're just doing what they got to survive.
Well, and you see in the world around us that craft breweries are really getting big.
They are. They
like,
are.
I'm not going to say they're new, but they're like, especially maybe, and it's just in our area, but they're popping up on every corner here in our little part of the country. So it's like it's only a matter of time before they made their way into Fear the Walking Dead.
I would just like to know like how fortified this guy's brewery is that he's just been like holed up for like, a few years now, just chilling, growing hops on the roof.
What a douche too, man. Like Morgan goes out of his way to save him, which by the way, Jim was an ungrateful bastard when Morgan saved him. Morgan runs out to how long does it take to run across the field? And I've been like, all right, you know what? Turn around. put the strap back on his hands, put the cloth back over his head, be like, good luck. Next time you'll be appreciative if someone saves you, but it's not going to be me.
Yeah, man. They turned on a dime with Morgan, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really did. And it's kind of interesting. I mean, because at first he's just like, I'm going to go back and help my friends in Texas. I'll go up to Virginia after that. And they just kind of let him be. They let him go, and afterwards they're like, we've been thinking about it. You're going to take us to Virginia one way or the other, pal. You
don't want to cross Rick.
Don't want to, yeah.
Rick would just, if Morgan was being held captive and could give Rick some kind of signal, man, those three would be gone like that.
Yeah. But the scene that reminded me of Tremors was, Morgan stranded on the roof of that car,
Yeah. I remember as a kid that terrified me. The opening scene, what was it, like an old couple or something? Or
I think so.
And gosh, it's been so long since I've seen it. But then the trimmer pulls the whole car under the ground. I remember as a kid that terrified me, man.
Yeah, I was hoping that Morgan would find like a great big stick and just pole vault his way out like they did in the movie. I can't remember if that was 1 or 2. I know there's definitely some pole vaulting.
I remember at one point there were little babies that could sense heat and they ran around.
Yeah, that was 2 for sure. They were going to make a Tremors TV show, which they've done in the past, but this one was actually going to have Kevin Bacon, and the pilot's supposed to be pretty badass, but they just nipped it in the bud, and it's not going to see the light of day.
Well, that sucks for Tremors
fans. That does suck. That would have been a great podcast,
It would have been. Speaking of which, now we actually have Morgan separated from his stick.
Well, we did for a while. He's back in the big rig now,
you think it's back in the big rig?
I think it's in the truck. I hope so.
Yeah, because I thought about that when he was on the roof. And I might have been thinking about that because like when they left, I'm like, oh, gosh, Morgan's doesn't have a stick. Now he's got a sign, which seems to be a bit more effective.
Yeah, got that sharp edge.
Just slice, but
probably not as light. I'm sure after like an hour or two of carrying that sucker, he was probably like, man, I miss my stick.
It's a good Morgan impression. Do that again.
Oh, man, I miss my stick.
That was a little more seductive. Morgan doesn't seduce people. That sounded like Morgan was...
Not yet.
Like trying to subtly hit on like a girl or something. Man, I lost my stick.
Yeah, you lost my stick. Come on now.
So I don't know. So you see these people becoming like main characters?
I don't know about main characters. I think 1 or 2, maybe 1 will survive and be a mainstay by the end of the season.
Which one do you think it'll be?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Everything you're doing today sounds seductive.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Ooh.
See, it's the buffalo chicken sliders I had before we started podcast, and they're doing weird things to me, both sexually and digestively. So you may have to, helm the podcast for a few minutes, but I'm going to try to hold on anyway.
Just keep it on your side of the table.
Yeah, but which one? We've never had like a disabled main character. Have we ever had
Herschel?
Well, yeah, he was
missing a leg.
Yeah, he was like disabled in the course of the zombie apocalypse, though. This guy went into it disabled.
Yeah, that's true.
There's something to be said for that.
That's true. I don't know. I really feel like if anybody's going to survive, it's going to be Sarah.
Sarah, yeah.
Or Jim. I don't know. I just feel like Wendell's going to die because I just don't know how long he will be able to survive in a wheelchair in this environment, especially if, like, I don't know, if he gets separated from the people that'll protect, you know what I mean? I could see him... maybe it'd be cool if he made it, but I could see them. It seems like a bad situation to be in.
It'd be cool to
in the zombie apocalypse,
see Jim pull through, kind of be like the. Strand would have a new drinking buddy for one thing.
That he would, and we've seen. I mean, he's kind of got like not quite as cowardly as Eugene, but somewhat like the Eugene thing. Like, man, I've never killed these things.
He's not sticking his neck out. That's for sure.
So we might see him evolve into become a good character.
Yeah, biting people's dicks off just like Eugene. Which I guess Eugene didn't bite a dick off per se, but he did sink his teeth in. So.
Yeah, he got a pretty big chunk.
Yeah.
And we did see. I was watching when last week's episode went off, and before this one, and it did look like, Alicia went back to the house that Strand and Luciana were in, and they were gone. So where are they at?
Ooh.
I want to know where Strand and Luciana are. We haven't seen them in we saw them in the return, and then we had the last week's, and now this week. So it's been 2 episodes without no Strand. I can't believe you're still watching as much as you love Victor Strand.
It's been difficult, man. And that's a testimony to how good the past couple episodes have been. I mean, I've definitely felt the void. I've felt the absence. I don't like it, but I'm dealing with it. And absence makes the heart grow fonder. I think we can all.
So you'll just be that much more excited to see Victor Strand when he comes back onto the screen.
Yeah. It'll be great. But I didn't see the preview for the next episode. Are we going to see some Strand?
Oh, gosh.
I usually don't even like watching them because I like going in totally fresh.
Who did I watched it? I watched the previews because then I turned it off immediately after because Preacher came on, and I haven't caught up. I'm still like halfway through this season of that. But we saw someone. Well, I know we in the previews we saw John and June. Okay. I don't know about anybody else. I hope they don't. My only thing is, I wish they would get to. I mean, I'm loving this season. You know that. I've said many times that the last 2 seasons of Fear the Walking Dead I've really enjoyed. I kind of wish they would get to like the Game of Thrones thing, though. Like, don't focus on one character per episode. I mean, even The Walking Dead, Angela Kang taking over. Like they've said, we realize now that these single person focused episodes get a little long and drawn out, so it's really good to kind of flash between at least 2 different sets of people, so you kind of get 2 stories going. And like we had everybody, and then we had Alicia and Charlie, and then we had Morgan and his new friends, frenemies, I guess we could say. And next week, if it's just John and June, it's like, man, but.
Yeah, I mean, I generally don't like what you call them, like bottle episodes or whatever. Right. But I think the last 2 have been really well done.
They've done good, though. They've done better than The Walking Dead has on some of their episodes. Agreed. I'm looking at you once again, Daryl and Beth. Mm-hmm. They started this trend of crappy bottle episodes. That's for sure. They did. And Fear the Walking Dead's breaking the mold. But I really do wish they could get to jumping around a little bit between different groups of people. But I don't know. Do you think Strand's okay? Have you worried about this?
Of course, that's all I'm thinking about. That's all I'm thinking about. Do you think in this kind of reality that truckers really would be like one of the groups of people to kind of survive and keep things going?
I could see that. I mean, think about it. They've got good. It depends. If they're on like a busy highway when this breaks out, then they might be in a world of trouble because they're right in the heat of it. But a truck driver that gets somebody calls him on the CB or cell phone or radio or whatever, he finds out that this is happening, and then he's away from. I mean, it depends on what he's hauling, but truck drivers that are hauling like supplies that you could eat and use for survival. I mean
it's a tight knit community, and they do know where all the like major stores of supplies are. It'd be cool to see like a truck depot where there's just like an army of truckers, just there, doing
have their
own
trucks
thing.
All fixed up like Twisted Metal and stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah, one of my best friends is a transfer truck driver, and I've told him many, many times that if the zombie apocalypse happens, that he is going to be in charge of our motorcade. Mm-hmm. Like we're going to put transfer with something on the front to push the zombies away, or either, if nothing else, a dump truck, But he's in charge of driving the heavy equipment.
Yeah, you need that guy in your crew, that's for sure.
Yeah, and thank goodness we got one, which if the zombie apocalypse ever happens. Are you still holding out hope?
What,
you were excited. Yeah, you wanted to.
Have I said that before?
Yeah, you were excited a long time ago.
Oh gosh, I like my twice a year teeth cleanings, man. I don't know. See, my saliva is rich in sediment, which is good because it coats your teeth and keeps you don't get as many cavities, but it builds up quick. So.
Well, one good thing, I mean, we could run into a dentist.
Yeah, we would definitely find a dentist and Shanghai him into servitude. I mean, not that I'd be trying to enslave people, but the dentist wouldn't get away.
I still feel like in the zombie apocalypse, a doctor would be one of the most important people.
You gotta find an MD.
Would be like a gold mine.
Yeah.
You keep seeing like zombie movies and stuff where the doctor goes out in the field. I'd be like, dude, look, dude or madam, whoever.
Yeah.
We need you to stay here. It's not that we don't think you can do this, but if you die, a lot more people are going to die. So let's just keep you safe and sound while we go handle this.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest problems with the whole Negan saga. You know, he just chucks the doctor in the incinerator. Yeah. I mean, we've got 2 doctors, you know. All you need's one. I mean, it's not like...
I get that Negan was theatrical and he was all about making a show, you know, and showing people that he wasn't to be trifled with and stuff. But, man, I mean, like, the doctors... It's got to be something. Like, get him behind closed doors and don't let it get out that you know he knows. You know what I mean? Or if you think he did it. Dwight's such a bastard for that. That dude died bad too, man. I mean, I know in the show he died quick, but I mean, they threw you into a fire pit like that, just your top half. I imagine that would be a very, very painful death.
I would think so.
I mean, he could breathe in. You know, I guess if he breathed in enough smoke, he'd pass out. But I mean, still, you're gonna be in a lot of pain before you go out.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dwight, you bastard. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else there is to cover on this episode. Morgan pooping.
Yeah.
Morgan saving Jim.
Well, what'd you think about Morgan kind of turning his back on Texas? At that point, he was like, you know, I can keep walking.
What a crisis for him, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like you got this entire group that he realizes he shouldn't have left, and he's anxious to get back to, and then you've got this other group that he knows isn't planning on accompanying him at all. They don't even care to go. He doesn't know that they're in trouble, per se, you know, so... It is quite the dilemma. It's not like he left them trapped or something, you know. I mean, to his he lost Alicia in the woods, but to his knowledge, they're all okay. I mean, he wanted to check on them after the hurricane or whatever.
Yeah,
but I mean, it is quite the. I mean, I believe I would have just done one of each. I would have went back and checked on everybody, and then like, okay, now I'm going to Virginia.
Yeah, I guess he's just tired of all that walking, you know. I mean, he's basically on a big summer vacation right now, and I've been there, you know. You get to the end of the vacation, like a couple days out, and you're just getting that anxiety about, you know, going back, and you're just like, I wish I could just leave now so I don't have to, you know, worry about that last day of vacation.
Right.
Because there's nothing worse than that last day.
It's not. The last day of vacation is worse than like the first day back to work, I feel, because it's just myself just coming back from vacation a week or two back. The last day is so miserable because you're just like, I better go ahead and do everything I want to do. This isn't going to last. Like your first 2 or 3 days will run, you know, you're like, oh man, I still have 4 days left of this. This is awesome. And by the last day, you're like, I have to go back.
That's why I rarely take vacations, man. Just the anxiety of, you know, like the time ticking. I don't know, man. It's too much for me. It's too much.
So that's why you won't come to the beach with us.
It's too stressful. Too stressful, partner. But yeah. I mean, Morgan having quite the dilemma there, and that you know, just getting called out when he's on top of that car too. You know,
he definitely kind of had to face some of his demons, we'll say, on that. I mean, well, he admitted to what he did, too, though. I mean,
plenty of time to think about it, for sure.
Wendell's like, I heard what you said on the radio. I'd have been like, well, it'd been nice of you to answer back.
Yeah.
I really, the way this, you know, Fear the Walking Dead's not pulling any punches with killing main characters. So there for a minute, I really thought Morgan, I didn't think he was going to die, but I thought he was going to get bit or something. And then this season would be his last days. Ooh. And he was going to, like, send them to Virginia. So they would eventually go there and let Rick and company know that Morgan had passed away. And
that would have been gut-wrenching, man.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't do it, though. It makes for good drama, but I'm not ready to lose Morgan yet.
Nah, man. No.
I really would be perfectly fine with him going back and taking the lead.
Yeah, it could happen.
Because like I said, I mean, there's plenty of other people back in Alexandria and the Hilltop that could do it. Maggie, but she's leaving. Michonne could do it, but Michonne's getting Denai Guerrero's getting a lot of movies.
She is.
So, you know, we've seen a season or two of her not being there as much because, you know, she was all filming other stuff. So, I mean, if Michonne could lead it, I'd be cool with that. I don't know, man. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I mean, Carol, I feel like some people will be like, Carol could lead it, but I just don't. I'm kind of over Carol, you know what I mean? I don't not like Carol, and it's going to be very sad and heartbreaking when she dies. And Melissa McBride, is that her name, right?
I think so.
Has done a wonderful job playing her.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like, she's kind of hit her peak for me. I mean, I don't want to see her go, but I don't know, but like Michonne, I'd be cool with. Maggie, I don't feel like Rosita's. I feel like I don't know. I just couldn't see Rosita leading the group. Morgan, Michonne, or Maggie would be like my top 3 to replace Rick when he leaves. But that's, probably not going to happen.
No. But, Morgan's such a great character. I mean, he really brings out the best in everyone he comes across, He
does. I really hope if Rick is going to die, Morgan makes it back.
Yeah.
Before, or we at least get to see Morgan's reaction to the news that Rick passed away. But, I mean, Morgan was there with Rick in the beginning. It's only poetic justice, I guess you could say that. Is that the right term? That Morgan be there when he dies.
Yeah, you think maybe the helicopter is going to kind of connect the two?
That would
groups?
be cool. Like that's how Morgan gets back. Like these people he's with will die, or they'll leave him or something, and then somehow he'll meet up with the helicopter and he'll fly him right back.
Yeah, it could happen.
Or like they'll pass. They'll be in passing. That's Rick.
Yeah,
Morgan.
I'm in a helicopter.
I'm in a helicopter, Morgan. Didn't even know these things existed anymore.
Well. Sucks. There's nobody to maintenance them as needed.
I was going to say,
and then it just clunks and falls out of the sky.
Like, where are you going? I don't know, but when somebody offers you a helicopter ride in the apocalypse, you take it.
Mm-hmm. I know I would.
And the helicopters in the apocalypse always crash, though.
I was going to say, man, I'm wary about getting one in real life.
I did one time.
Really?
Yeah, it was at a thing that they do a couple of towns over called Lake Fest. It's the town's on a big man-made lake, and so the people come from all over the country to it. And they offer helicopter rides over the entire town. And I did it. And I don't really like heights. I mean, I could deal with it, but it wasn't my favorite place to be.
Yeah, man, not me. These small little aircrafts, man, nah, no thanks.
Yeah, of course, the pilot's messing with us because we get in, and my buddy's done it before. And, I'm not too big on heights. But, yeah, I can deal with them. They don't put me in panic attack mode. I'm just not, I'm
not
just,
your favorite
right.
thing,
I'm just kind of like, all right, let's just get this over with, But we get to go in, and of course the pilot's like, yeah, man, I've been doing this for 2 weeks. I'm pretty good at it. And I'm like, all right, I know he's messing with me. I hope he's messing with me. And then I heard him say, approaching 800 feet. I look down. I'm like, that's a pretty view of, wow, we're really high up. And then he's like, approaching 1,000 feet. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stare out, not down.
Ain't getting in no helicopter, ain't getting in no hot air balloon.
You're not going to get me in a hot air balloon.
No.
Unless I'm running from zombies. I mean, I get in one if my life depends on it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, hot air balloons, hats off to people that just chill in those things. I'm just so scared like the rope will break and then we'll just float away into the sunset.
Man,
I'm on a hot air balloon, JP.
Yeah, I'll get in a submarine before I get in.
Oh, no. I'll jump on a hot air balloon. My 2 fears are heights, it's not so much a crippling fear as I just don't like it. Mm-hmm. But, like, being submerged underwater,
yeah,
not my cup of tea.
I don't know. Ever since I saw the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou,
it was a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I've always wanted to.
That's the one. Isn't that the shark? That shark killed my best friend.
Right. The tiger shark or whatever.
Yeah, that was a great movie. Bill Murray.
Oh yeah. Wes Anderson at the top of his game.
Yeah. What you said that the Life was
Isle of Dogs.
Isle of Dogs. You said that was a good movie too.
I
right?
loved it. Yeah.
Actually, Bill Murray was in that too.
He was indeed.
A lot of celebrities.
Not a movie for everyone, but
that's 2 things. Bill Murray and Bryan Cranston, kind of bringing it around full circle here. He did a voice of one of the dogs, right?
He did, yeah.
So let's rate this episode and wrap this thing up.
One last thing, though, okay. Like we at the very end, we see the lady with the dreads, sharpening the zombie. Any predictions or assumptions about her?
I don't know. I think they want you to think she's evil, but I don't think she's going to be. You don't think
she is? It almost looks like she's doing some voodoo kind of stuff.
Right. It kind of reminded me like the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
With the woman that had his heart or
Calypso
whatever.
or whatever her name was. I can't remember, but man, yeah. And she's heading to Texas now. Was she at the, is that where she was? The flip-flop truck stop?
That's what I was thinking.
Because it looked lit up. So yeah, I think that was a cherry place, man. Lights, running water.
I'm just wondering why she wrote on the zombie, like, take what you need, leave what you don't. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that was actually a message if somebody found him, in which case I still would have just killed the zombie and wrote it on the wall or something.
Yeah.
Or was it kind of being written ironically? You know what I mean? Like, she killed him or whatever, and she was just kind of like, maybe he was part of that organization that was doing this, and then she killed him and wrote it kind of, as a spit in the face on his face.
So far, man, it's people using zombies like carrier pigeons, I mean, the first one, that lumberyard, now this one, I don't know.
I need to get word to Rick. Send no Walker.
There's got to be a more effective way of long-distance communication. I don't know, but maybe
Without
not.
cell phones, you got to do what you got to do.
I guess. Maybe that's how Morgan will get his sex tape to his ex in Alexandria, and we'll start the whole road trip conundrum.
Morgan's sex tape.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
It would be, man. It would be.
I don't know that I want to see that, though. I'm not going to lie.
No, I'd watch it. I mean, I'll watch a lot of things. Anyway, like you're saying, rating.
Put your hand under your side of the table, and let's do a countdown from 3, and let's bring it up. 1. Well, countdown would be 3, 2, 1. You gave it 3 again. I gave it 3.5 again.
The only reason I gave it 3 is because I'm really
missing your Strand.
Yeah,
right?
I need some Victor Strand. But no, I thought it was a great episode. Just one of the best of this season.
I give it a 3.5 because it's. You think the best of this season or the best of this half of the season?
I think it's one of the best of this season. Yeah, I mean, you got new characters.
And you only gave it a 3? If it's one of the best of the season, it only got a 3?
Just because it's Strandless, man. I can't forgive that.
I still think the highlight of the season was Nick's death. Even though I hated that they killed him, they really didn't have a choice. He wanted to leave the show. But I still just think that was one of the best episodes because, man, it just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, it was really great.
It was gut-wrenching. It was sad. You watched him suffer like you didn't see it coming. I'm sure someone saw it, but I thought we were going to see Madison die or something, and then it ended up Nick dies. I was not ready for that. But I gave it a 3.5 because I think it was a great episode. I enjoyed it. I'm interested to see where it goes, but it wasn't one of my highlights of the season, but again, great episode. 3.5 for me. So 3.5 out of 5 is not bad for those that might not listen regularly and you're thinking 3 out of 10? No, 3.5 out of 5. That's a pretty good score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this episode a lot. Like I said, I always dreamed of being a trucker, and so it kind of scratched that itch. Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, I used to have like a trucker belt buckle. I wore cowboy boots. I was a trucker poser.
Do you want me to get up with my friend and see if he'll take you for a ride in his transfer trip?
I might be interested in that.
It's overnight though, so you'd have to ride from about 7 or 8 at night until about 6 in the morning.
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
I made the trip. It's actually pretty fun. Yeah.
But
little road trip.
In high school, I mean, you had all kinds of different posers. You got the skateboard posers, you got the Eminem type posers, and I was a trucker poser. I mean, what do you want from me?
Oh man, can you please dig me up a picture of you in high school wearing cowboy boots and?
Yeah, man. Actually, I got like 2 senior superlatives in the yearbook, and I'm all truckered up in those.
So. Did that come from your love of Smokey and the Bandit?
Yeah, that's what spurred it on. Absolutely. And turned me on to Jerry Reed. So many great things came from that. Not a lot of female attention came from it, but
I'm shocked.
Their laws. Don't want to jump aboard JP's big rig. What are you going to do?
JP's big rig.
JP's big rig.
Please comment under this podcast. JP's big rig.
Yeah, that's the code word.
Or hey, podcast. Comment under the podcast. I want to jump on JP's big rig. Is that what you said? Big rig. You said big rig, right?
Yeah.
Because when I said it back, it sounded perverted. But I didn't get that when you said it.
Well, truckers, they can be a hedonistic lot. So another draw.
There's no way
lifestyle.
to not make it sound perverted. I'd ride on JP's big rig. I want to hop on JP's big rig. Either way, put something in reference to JP's big rig. And perverted puns preferred.
Yeah. And if you're the lucky code winner, you might just get a bumper sticker. With that written on it.
Oh, okay. I'm sure we have bumper stickers.
We'll get some. Sure.
Huh.
When we get enough participants, we'll get some all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, if we get enough listeners, we definitely plan to start doing like some merch giveaways.
Merchandise.
We just want to make sure there are people out there who would want to wear shirts with our logos on it.
Oh, they would.
Because I want somebody to get it and be like, oh, this is cool. I'll wear it when I cut the grass. Yeah. You got to wear it proud.
Got to wear something when you cut the grass. Although I go shirtless.
If you're an artist, we are looking for logo ideas, by the way. Mm-hmm. And we would love to promote you if you could help us come up with a good logo. Because JP's got a lot of talents. I have one here or there, but I believe between the two of us, one thing we don't have is artistic ability.
Yeah.
I can't draw anything, man. My mom used to be like, you used to draw comic book characters all the time. I'm like, Mom, I traced them.
Whenever I try to sketch, it always just turns into like an ancient, like Oriental man with a hash pipe.
Yeah.
I almost said Chinaman, but then I was like, nope, that is not appropriate, and I'm not going to say it.
Yeah. I don't, I've just never been able to draw. So, I mean, if we have any artists out there who are listening and would like to, I don't know, help us out and draw us a logo, man, we'll totally rock it.
I'd love it.
We'll put it on, number one, we'll give you a free shirt for drawing it, and we'll totally give you credit for drawing it.
A lot of shout outs.
I think that's one of the biggest holdups is we don't want to start a new channel. Like we want to keep the podcasting dead, even though that started as a Walking Dead thing, but we want to branch out and do things not Walking Dead related. But then it's like, well, the podcasting dead still could work. I mean, we could use like TPD, it's kind of like our thing, TPD. So yeah, I mean, you just, if any, like I said, any artists out there, please send us some ideas.
Oh man, like one of our like slogans could be like, you got TP'd. TPD. I don't know.
I got TP'd on JP's big rig.
Oh man, I love it.
That would be a cool shirt.
Yeah. If
really
nothing
cool
else,
shirt.
man, I'm gonna go buy a white Hanes Comfort Fit, get a Sharpie, and I'm gonna make that happen this evening. Yeah.
Well, you do that, and I expect you to be wearing it next podcast.
Brother, you know it.
Make sure to catch us if you read comics on Thursday. We'll be doing another pull list podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to just be kind of going over what we've got and giving our thoughts on it, both spoiler-free and spoiler-filled reviews. That'll be out, and I think that's about it, right? Is there anything else you want to leave them with?
Brother, these Arby's buffalo chicken sliders are talking to me, so
that's gross.
Yeah, I'm happy to wrap it up and go.
Yeah, you got to go.
More ways than one. Need to go.
Ooh, with that said, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. We love and appreciate everybody who listens, and we appreciate all of the comments, all of the kind words. They really do make our day. We're just like kids on Christmas.
Absolutely.
Like, did you see this one? Did you see that one?
We need to start doing some commenter shout outs or something.
There we go. Yeah, we could do that. Especially like new listener. If you're a new listener, comment it out in the bottom, and we could do like a new listener shout out every podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we will catch you again very, very soon. I promise. I'm Justin.
Oh, and I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.
Boom.